This is Extra Paycheck Podcast, episode number 94.
You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Extra Paycheck Podcast. This is episode number 94, and in today's episode, we will be talking about creating great content for your blog, for your website, and we'll be talking about kind of content that goes viral, kind of content that brings you readers, that brings you good rankings, and of course brings you income. For today's episode, I wanted to do kind of a case study of one of my articles that I wrote in 2016. And to be honest, it was one of the best articles on the Extra Paycheck blog ever for many reasons. So this article was posted on my blog on January 6, 2016, so about a year ago, and it was titled 30 Books Every Entrepreneur Should Read in 2016. So nothing really crazy, right? It's just a list of books. That's what you might think. However, this article brought in thousands and thousands of visitors to my blog. It got over 900 shares on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. I'm not sure how many shares it got on Twitter because Twitter does not give out that information anymore. They did at the beginning of 2016, I believe, but then they stopped sharing that information, so we can't really know how much traffic came from Twitter and how many shares went there. But in total, throughout all the social platforms, I got over 900 shares for that article, which is really a lot for me. I never get anywhere close to that with normal articles or podcast episodes. So you could call that a success. Now, if you go and look for rankings on Google and other search engines for this article, I rank well for such keyword phrases as best entrepreneur books, must-read entrepreneur books, best entrepreneur books 2016, and many, many others. And I rank on the very first page for most of those keyword phrases. Now, if you look at those, at my competitors on those pages, there's only a few of them. There's entrepreneur.com, businessinsider.com, inc.com, and fortune.com. Entrepreneur.com usually takes the first 2-3 spots. Business Insider also usually takes 2 or 3 rankings. Then usually I come in, then you have Inc. and you have fortune.com. And no other small sites, just those really, really big sites and Extra Paycheck blog. So I'm ranking within those really, really big competitors, which I think kind of gives the site credibility because I'm sure a lot of people are actually curious who is that Extra Paycheck blog and why is he ranking among those big guys. So there were a few things that I did to that specific article, to this specific post, and I'm sure you can replicate those things, and I'm sure I will be replicating them in this year for many other things. So let's get straight into it. Okay, first of all, the article is 4,000 words long. I am pretty sure you wouldn't be able to make that happen with a 500-word article or even a 1,000-word article. It has to be a longer content. It has to be content that Google sees that you've put a lot of effort into, which I did with this article. It took me at least 2 days to put it up together, maybe a little bit more, but it took me about 15 hours or more to actually have that article written and posted on my blog. It was a lot of effort, but it was totally worth it in the end. I'll be linking to that article in the show notes page, so go right now to extrapodcast.com/94, so you will be able to see that article and you'll have a better idea of how it looks and how it feels. But if you aren't there yet, I'll be talking about it. So the article itself, it has a lot of images. Well, first of all, it starts with a short paragraph and an image of me looking at those books. Then I have some more text explaining what this article is going to be about, with some stats backed by Business Insider information. And finally, I get into the list of 30 books that every entrepreneur must read in 2016. Why 30? One of the main reasons was because all of those other sites that I mentioned, entrepreneur.com, businessinsider.com, many others, they have a lot of articles that give you a list of 5 books, best 10 books, and I think the biggest they had was like 25 books. And I thought that if I want to have a chance of ranking as well as I am right now for this keyword phrase, I need to make it bigger. I need to make it more complete. So naturally I went for 30 books. I could have gone for a lot more, but to be honest, I haven't read that many books. I mean, I haven't read 100 entrepreneur books, so I can't do that, first of all. Second of all, I try to pick the best books, the books that I like the most, and the books that I could actually tell something about to the reader. This is why I ended up with that magic number of 30, which is more than all of the other websites, all of the other competitors have on Google's first page, yet it's not some crazy number. So I thought 30 would be a good number, and that's exactly what I went with. Right, so besides the number 30, besides the long list, if you look at my blog post, I kind of did a separate section for every single book. So on the left, you see the picture of the book cover, and on the right, you see the title of the book, and then you see 2 paragraphs explaining what the book is about in kind of very short yet detailed information, so people get a good idea if that's the kind of book they want to read or not. Because I know that I read all kinds of business books or entrepreneur books. I read books on self-help and self-improvement, but I also enjoy books that go more like hands-on practice, business strategies, and so on. But I know that not everyone's like me, and some people don't like self-help books, while others really love them, but they don't like the hands-on business strategy kind of books. So my main goal here was to explain at the very first paragraph if the book is a business book or more of a self-help kind of book, or more of a business strategy, or what exactly the book is about and how it feels. So whoever's scanning through my list of best 30 books, they know right away if this is something they would like or not. The next thing I did to earn some money, but also to make it easier for my readers, the actual image of the book cover is clickable. If you click on it, you'll be taken directly to Amazon, where you will be able to purchase this book. But also on the right side, when I have the text describing the book, at the bottom, I also have a little link where it says get it on Amazon. So it makes it look very clean. It makes it look professional. But at the same time, if people click on those links, I will get affiliate commissions, which I did. I didn't get all that many commissions. I got a few $100s from it. But considering that the books are usually $10, $20, and the commission is 6, 7, 8%, it's still a lot of commissions for those kind of sales. So once again, as I mentioned, what I did, I broke the whole text apart. It's really easy to scan because each book, it feels like on the blog, it has its own section, and you don't have to get like overwhelmed with a big bulk of text. You don't have to get confused which book I'm talking about. It's very, very clear which book I am talking about. I guess this part concludes how exactly I set up that blog post, how I formatted it, and why I did it in such a way. The next part is promotion of that blog post, because writing an amazing blog post is one thing, but it's not enough anymore. It used to be 5-6 years ago. If you wrote an amazing blog post, you would rank number 1 right away. People will share your stuff because you're the best, because you've written the best piece of content on the subject. But it's not like that anymore. A lot of people are producing really, really great content these days, which is amazing. It's kind of a goal for us content producers to make great content that people will enjoy, and search engines help us rank that content when they see that the content is amazing. However, just putting that content out there is not enough anymore. Writing an amazing article is not going to get you far. At this point, you need to promote that content as well. You need to work probably even harder on the promotion of your article than the creation of that article itself. Once the article was published, I started, of course, sharing it on social media. Simply sharing it on my Twitter account, my Google+, my Facebook, pretty much all the accounts that I had, I shared it on. And I guess most of us do that with all of our content. And that's pretty basic. That also doesn't get you all that far. So the next step that I took was sharing it within specific Facebook groups. And this is something that you can't do overnight, because I've been a member of several entrepreneur-related, business-related Facebook groups, and I've been participating there, of course, so people kind of know me, they've seen my face. And usually they really do not like links. When you post a link, especially to your own stuff, you would sometimes get banned. Sometimes they would simply delete your post and give you a warning and tell you, look, you're not allowed to self-promote. You're not allowed to promote your own stuff. So being active in the community helps. You need to not just be active, you need to help people, you need to answer questions, ask questions, and so on. You have to genuinely participate in those groups in order to grow some kind of authority in there. So when I posted the link to this blog post, nobody bothered deleting them or giving me a warning. Quite the opposite. People told me, oh, thanks so much for sharing. This is an incredible resource. And I didn't just post a link. I wrote a pretty good description explaining why I created this list of books and why I'm sharing it in this group and so on. So first of all, I gave a really good explanation reason for me for sharing this link. I also was very clear that this is my blog post. It's actually my blog, and I kind of took the self-promotion onto another level and explained to people that I am not doing that to promote my blog, but I'm rather doing it to help them have a great list of books that they must be reading this year. Well, actually past year at this point in 2016. And people embraced it and people loved it. I got a lot of comments. I got a lot of suggestions for more books that I have missed from that list. I had a lot of people asking me more details about those books. And of course, a lot of those people started sharing that link, that blog post on their own walls, on their own private groups, on their own pages. So it kind of like just went around Facebook and went around Google+. And another great amount of traffic that I got was from Reddit. And let me tell you, I hate Reddit for marketing. It's a really, really tough crowd. And if you post something they don't like, you're just gonna get downvoted to hell and you're not gonna recover from it. Somehow I didn't get downvoted to hell, and it was kind of the same reason, I guess, because I tried to explain that these are books that, in my opinion, are really great because I've read all of them or most of them. And if I'm not mistaken, I posted in entrepreneur subreddit, which is one of the toughest, and they really hate self-promotion once again. So Reddit did not delete my post. They didn't ban me. They embraced it somehow. I guess because they also saw the value in it. It was beginning of the year, and a lot of people often post questions on that very subreddit. What kind of books would you recommend for efficiency? What kind of books do you recommend for business strategies? What kind of books do you recommend for self-improvement, and so on? So since a lot of people have been asking these kind of questions, my post came in at the right timing, I guess, and people took it on. And once again, I got upvotes. People started asking questions. What's even cooler is that people started participating in the discussion and they started recommending books that I've never heard of, which ended up being great books, very interesting stuff. So I was really happy to participate in the community in this way. And once again, when I posted it on Reddit, it wasn't just some random subreddit where I never participate. I try to be there answering questions, trying to help people out. So when I came in there and maybe there was a moderator that wanted to delete my post, he looked at my history and he saw that I'm pretty active, that I talk to people, and decided that, okay, we'll just let it slide this time. It's fine. It's a good resource. We're not gonna delete it. So once again, spamming is not going to work. You need to generally participate in whatever community where you want to promote your content. Let it be an article, let it be a video, whatever that content is, you have to be active in order to be able to promote it to others. All right, so these are two main strategies that I use to promote that book, sharing it on those closed Facebook groups, sharing it on Reddit. And another third strategy that I used was trying to contact the authors of those books that made my list directly. And as you can imagine, some of them are really, really huge, really big guys, and they wouldn't even read my email. But it was still worth the effort because some of the authors from that list, they did not only share that link on their social media, they also linked to that post from their own websites, which gave me some backlinks, which gave me a push in the search engine rankings. All of the social media sharing around the world gave me a really big push in the rankings for the search engines. So those are the three strategies that I used for ranking that article and for making it go viral in a way. I mean, it's not that viral, 900 shares, but for a small blog, it's pretty viral and it's pretty awesome to get these kind of results. So before we end this episode, I'd like to mention another thing that I used is that in 2016, that year thing that I used in the title of the actual blog post. As I said at the very beginning of this podcast, 30 books every entrepreneur should read in 2016. These year numbers, they work really well for a whole bunch of different lists because that's what people search for. When people want to buy a brand new TV, they would write best TV in 2017 at this point. If people want to go on vacation, they'll write something like best vacation destinations in 2016 or 17. So these things could help you rank, and not many people still use them because people are scared to kind of waste their time thinking, if I create an article called best TVs in 2016, in 2017, that article will no longer be relevant, so I wasted my time creating that article. And this is, first of all, is false because people will still click on your article even if it says the year before or even 2 years before. People will still click on it and look at it. That's number one. Number two, you could always update that article with the 2017 information, even change the title to 2017. And people will click on that. And third, you could always create a brand new article for this year. I know it's effort. It's a lot of effort. But if you get the kind of results that I got from that one article, it's totally worth it. And you should be considering writing these kind of articles and putting the year best of 2016, best of 2017, whatever, in your title, because people go for it and people search for those terms. And many of your competitors will not be writing these kind of articles because right now, if you go to the Google keyword tool or Jaxi or any keyword research tool and you write whatever phrase like best books, and you'll get the suggestions for best books in 2016, best books in 2015. You will not get a suggestion from your keyword tool for best books in 2017, simply because those keyword research tools, they don't have that information yet. Not enough people have searched for this phrase yet, so they're not showing you that information, but people are already searching for this year. And a lot of your competitors, they rely solely on the numbers given to them by the keyword tool. So they aren't going to create a piece of content and put in 2017 in it because they think that there isn't much research for it yet. No, people aren't searching, but there are. It's just not shown to you yet, but believe me, there are. And this is when you could take advantage of that. This is where you could create an article, a list of best something for 2017, and you have a higher chance of ranking because you'll be one of the first producing that content. All right, so let's recap a little bit here. You need to create a really detailed and amazing article. Go on Google and search for your main keyword phrase, search for your target phrase, look at the top 10 results and try to create better article than they have. Like in my case, I mentioned, I did a list of 30 books instead of 10 books. And a lot of the articles that I looked at on Forbes.com and all those other websites, they don't even tell you what the books are. They just have the title, Best Entrepreneur Books for 2016, and they just give you a list of books. They don't explain what those books are, what they will teach you, what kind of information they will provide. And I guess people don't like that because I could just go on Amazon and sort books by best sellers. That's fine. So what I did, I made sure that I created an article better than any other article out there by giving out all that extra information that they failed to give. I also, as I just mentioned, gave a list of 30 books instead of 5 or 10. Next, I made sure my formatting is on point, and it's easy, and it's really easy to scroll through my article, and it's really easy to find that order or buy button, which in my case is get it on Amazon button, right? Next, I spent the next few weeks probably sharing it and promoting that article. And as I already mentioned earlier, you should spend even more time promoting your article than actually creating it. So share it wherever you can. If you're participating in some groups that are relevant to your niche, especially on Facebook, especially on Twitter, especially on other social media channels, well, do go ahead and share your article there. Just make sure it doesn't come out as spam and it seems legit and it seems authentic, and make sure you tell people that you're trying to help them out by sharing that link or by sharing that resource. This will help you. And if you have mentioned any other people in your article, which by the way you should if possible, if you mention any influencers, any businesses, send them an email. Talk to them on Twitter and tell them, hey, I wrote this list of best whatever for this year and I mentioned you. I thought I'd let you know because, maybe you would want to share this article or maybe you would want to link to it. And not everyone will reply to that, but some people certainly will take notice. Some of these influencers might link to you or simply share your status or your link on their Twitter account, on their Facebook account, whatever it is they're using. So I hope these strategies give you some ideas for 2017. I hope you liked this episode. Once again, head over to extrapodcast.com/94 to get some more information and check out the link to that article that I mentioned and some other resources. Also, head over to extrapodcast.com/iTunes in order to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't subscribed yet. Also, please do leave a rating and a review on iTunes. This will help the show tremendously. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next Monday.